Today I'm starting with class 9 syllabus and I'll start with the poetry section today, and we are taking the first poem of the book Beehive, and that is The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost. Very short poem. It is a narrative poem. Narrative poem means the narrator is telling, he is there in the poem and he is telling what had happened and he is narrating an incident, and this poem is written by Robert Frost. Robert Frost, we won't go into a lot of detail, but yes, I want to tell you something because of which, he wrote this poem. He was inspired to write this poem. There are times when these poets and writers, they go through things in life, lot of struggles, bad times, even good times, and they jot that incident or that moment, that either it is something about some sad moment or some good moment, into their writings, into their novels, into the stories or poems. And here Robert Frost had an experience in life which he tells through this poem. Although the words are different, but we can relate how he has or why he has written this poem, the purpose. Alright, so let us see what Robert Frost had experienced in his life. Robert Frost was a school teacher, and he had a farm in front of his house in a village in America. He's an American, and he used to do farming, and he used to go to school, and he was earning quite well, enough for a proper livelihood that he could give to his family. That farm was there, he did farming, and he went to teach in a school. But he was not happy in his life. He was passionate about writing poems, and he used to write very well. So he decided that he would follow his passion and write his poems, and he wrote a collection of them and went to the publisher to get it published. But his collection was rejected. He was very, very sad about it. He again came back, he wrote again, because he wanted to follow his passion. If you are doing something in life and you're not happy about it, life becomes a burden. We should always follow our passion. Keep improving, never give up. We have to do what we want to do, what makes us happy. Then we will not feel the burden of life. So he writes again, he goes again to the publisher, but again his poem is, the collection is not taken, and it is again rejected, and he becomes very sad. And it is that time when he feels that he should bring a change in his life. Now he had two choices: whether to stay in America only and keep teaching and keep doing his farming or leave America, go to some other place where he would get success with the passion of his. And he had two choices: to stay back or to move. Moving, why he had to think a lot about it? Because in America, he was living a life, he was giving a proper livelihood to his family, but he was not living a happy life. So that type of life becomes burdenful. So he decided, and the other road was to leave America and go to England. That came into his mind, that was another choice for him. And, that was very difficult. You have to leave everything, go to a place where you don't have a house, where you don't have a job, and you have to take your family along to settle there, find a job for yourself, a source of living, and then follow your passion. And he took the second road. Because he wanted to follow his passion, he took the second road. He went to England, and there his collection of poems became a hit. He went there and his poems were published, and people liked it so much there also, and even in America also. When a certain person's poems or songs or anything gets famous, they go into the newspapers and magazines and into the, journals and all. So his poems and about him, his praises were written in the journals which were read in America also. So, he became famous there too, where his same poems were rejected. Again, he wrote a second collection of poems again that became a hit. He became famous, people used to love his poems, and in America also they started writing about him, his poems, people were liking his poems, and it was at that time he decided to return back to his country. He went back to his country, that is America, and he told them. He met people there, and people welcomed him, and he was praised, and he was, given prizes and called to different concerts and programs to, read out his poems. He became very happy, but that was surface cheerfulness. He still had that in mind, that why the same poems were rejected once. If he had not left this place and gone to that other place, he would be just doing farming and teaching in the school. He would not be famous. He would not be able to follow his passion, He would have left writing poems. He made the correct choice. There are times when people, regret making choices that they were not able to come back. This poem is about that only. Now you are in 9th class, and it is at this time, you have to decide that after 10th, after 1 year, whether you will take up science or you will take up commerce. In science, whether you will go for medical or you will go for non-medical. Like, there are ample number of times when we have to make choices, and yet we should think a lot. Because no use repenting and regretting. And once you start moving on a road, it is seldom you get a chance to come back and start again. You waste time then. You can't do like that you start studying for medical, and after a year or so you feel you cannot do medical and you come back and want to start again. Time is lost. Your time is lost, and no use, Then you have to struggle again. So while making choices, one has to think a lot, make correct choices over which you never repent or regret. So this poem, The Road Not Taken, I'll come to the title later on. Let me quickly do the poem, how his life experience was, written into a poem. So here, when we start the poem, there is a traveler. The poet himself is speaking. He is the narrator. I told you it is a narrative poem. And he himself is traveling. He is a traveler. And he says that I was traveling, and he goes through the dense forest, the woods. Woods are what? Forest. Woods where there are many trees. We get wood from trees. And so where there are many trees, we also refer these forests or jungles as woods. So he is crossing this dense forest, and he says, I reach a point where two roads diverged. There are two roads, and he has to choose which road to go. He doesn't know where to go. He has to cross the woods, and he has to go to the other side. So he is standing at a fork where two roads are dividing, branched, they are diverged, and it is a yellow wood, he says. Yellow because all the leaves and all in the trees are yellow. Now, when is that? When during summer, the trees become dense. Spring, they start coming out. In summer, they become dense. And because of the scorching heat, these leaves start turning brown and yellow. So that is autumn season, coming of autumn season. Alright. So that means autumn season is going on. That is why he refers to the woods as yellow woods. So he says, I reached the yellow woods, and he reached a place where there were two roads branched, diverged, and he had to take one. He was just one traveler. He could not travel on both. So he stood there for some time to reflect which road to choose, because he knew one road would lead to another, would there would be turns and to come back would be difficult. So he had to think before taking a route that he wanted to move on. So he stands and he looks for some time at the two roads. Then he focuses on the first road and he looks, far till it is bent, till it is turning. Till where he could look, he looks till there and he sees that it is turning at the end of the road. There was a turn. Till there he keeps looking and he sees that, okay, and he feels that this road has been used quite a lot. So he looks at the second road, and second road, he feels that it is a little grassy and less people had moved on it. This first road he felt many people had walked on it. Second road he felt it was more grassy. Although, and randomly when you look, he felt they both were equally same. But the second route was less used. It was more grassy. It was more, inviting. And he thought, I should not be a follower. I should make my own road. I should choose my road myself. I don't have to be a follower and use the road that has been used for so many times. I should use the grassy one. He decided to be his own mentor. He decided to be his own leader. So he takes the second road. He starts on it and feels when he goes further, and if he feels it is grassy and it wanted wear, you must have read about wear and tear, erosion and weathering and all, no? When things are overused. So he felt that it was too grassy and it wanted wear. People had traveled less on the second road. So he thinks of taking the second road. He moves on the second road and he feels that I am only one traveler. I cannot go on the two. Let me take the second road. I will see if it is possible. He feels that he would come back and he would take the first route. Although there was a great doubt in his mind that whether he will be ever able to come back, because he knew one road leads to another. You start moving, then there's a turn, then there's a turn, then there's a turn. Hardly you come back. You keep feeling, okay, let's go further and see whether it is something better will come. So he had this doubt that whether he will come back. He leaves it for the other day, but he still had doubt whether he would be able to travel on the first road ever again or not. So he moves on and he feels that when he starts traveling the second road, he feels that that was also a used road. That was also equally same as the first one. But now he had no time to come back, so he moves on and goes on and goes on. And in the end, we have just 4 paragraphs in this very small poem of talking about making choices. And then he says that after ages and ages, he would definitely think that there were 2 roads and he had to decide to take one, and he was just one traveler and he took the second road, left the first one, and what difference it had made to his life. The end sometimes is, he has nowhere told what difference, whether he is happy about it or he is repenting about it. It is we who analyze the poem. There are some students of mine who keep saying that, ma'am, it is good he took the second road, because it was because of that he went to England and he became successful over there. Then he came back and he was able to follow his passion and he became famous, and he was able to come back to America and become famous here too. But there are people who say that he was very unhappy because he did not get recognition where he was in his own home country. So it is quite possible that he was unhappy about it. It was quite possible he was happy about it. What difference he had made. In the last paragraph, the poet has used, and he would say with a sigh. What is a sigh? S-I-G-H. It is a deep breath, when we do like that. So that sigh can be of relaxation also, can be of regret also. It can be taken both ways. So if you are asked about the end of the poem, whether the poet was happy about it or not, or whether he was not happy, you have to give a proper explanation. Both are accepted, relevant answers accepted. You can take both the sides, whichever side you like, but with proper explanation. Alright, now I'll quickly go through the poem stanza wise again with you in short. Read the poem and you will understand. Everything is very simple. Main points I'm discussing here. Alright, now in stanza 1, in the starting only, he says that there were two roads and he took two roads and they were diverged, and it was a yellow wood. I told you, yellow because of the autumn season. Alright, and he was, because one traveler, he stood long over there and looked at the first road to where it bent in the undergrowth. Till the end he saw that this was undergrowth, this was a used road, a worn out road. So till the end, where there were many bushes and all, he looks there till the bend of the road, till the turn of the road, till as far as he could look. Then second stanza he says, I took the second road which was just as fair. Now these poetic devices I'll do with you, because this is a poetic device also. I'll do with you one by one. But he says that it looked just the same, that second road was also equally good. So, but he felt that it had a better claim because it looked grassy and it wanted wear, because people had less used it, so it was not worn out. Alright, it wanted wear and tear, it wanted people to travel on it. So as he passed, but he took the second road, but as he was traveling on that road, he felt that that road was also equally used, equally worn. Alright, then stanza 3 he says that both were equally good. While traveling also he is reflecting that both roads were good and no leaves had trodden black. He was traveling early in the morning. Till in the morning, when do leaves turn black? When we tread on them, when we walk on them, when we move on them, because they get pressed and then they get torn and they get mixed up with the soil and they turn black. Alright. So till in the morning, everything was very grassy, green. So nothing had become black. No one had trodden at that time. And so he thought, let me leave the first road for some other day. And he started, although he was very doubtful whether he would be ever be able to come back to the first road or not, he leaves it for the other day and he starts traveling the second road. Alright. So, and in the end he says, will tell with a sigh. He says that after hence and hence, ages and ages hence, after years, I will tell with a sigh. Sigh, I told you, it is a deep breath. It can be of repentance, of regret, when we are very sad about something, and it can be about something of getting relaxed. So he says, I'll tell with a sigh that there were two roads and I was just one traveler, and I took the second road, and that has made all the difference in his life. Now this is what I said. This, some people take it negatively, some take it positively. Difference that he became successful or not successful. There are times when people, if we don't know about Robert Frost and we look at the poem, there are people who might regret making some choice which was not good for them. So that is why we have to give proper reasoning there. Alright. Now rhyme scheme of the poem. Alright. Rhyme scheme, you know about it. I have done with you before also that rhyme scheme, how do we decide? We take, suppose we take the first paragraph and we take the last words of the paragraph. I have written of the first paragraph. And this poem has got a regular rhyme scheme. Regular rhyme scheme means all the 4 stanzas have got the same rhyme scheme. Alright. So here, if you look at the poem and the last words of them, the stanzas, the first one is wood, both, stood, could, undergrowth. So we put, while deciding the rhyme scheme, in the first one we put A, and we see the sounds of the rhyming words of this wood. So we'll just go through it. Both is not a rhyming word, stood is a rhyming word. So we write A again over here. Alright. Then could is also, and undergrowth is not. And both and growth are same. So we put B over here and B over here. Alright. So the rhyming scheme becomes this. A, B, A, B. We will not put any dots and commas. We'll write it like this one. Alright, and if you see the other stanzas also, it is the same rhyming scheme is being followed. That is why I said this poem has got a regular rhyme scheme. There are poems, other poems where every stanza has got a different rhyme scheme. There we say it is irregular. Alright. Second poetic device is metaphor. When do we use metaphor? When we make comparisons. These are poetic devices. Alright. A poet uses these devices to put emphasis on his poem. So here when he talks about two roads, it is a comparison to the two choices that we always get in life. Many times in life we have to make choices, and so these roads are actually compared to the choices. So this is a metaphor. And if we look at the poem also, The Road Not Taken, this is also a metaphor, and this is extended in the whole poem. You know, about road again we are talking. So this is all a metaphor. Alright, about the choices that we make in life. Then there is a simile. Whenever there is a comparison between two things and we use the words as and like. As and like. And these words are used to compare, to show similarity. That poetic device is simile. Now here in this second stanza I told you as, just as, fair. Now the as and as are used, and this is a simile. It is a poetic device where we compare two similar things. Next is anaphora. Anaphora is a poetic device where we are talking about similar things, where there is a parallelism. Alright, now in the second stanza only we will see that in the first stanza we will see that the poet has started three lines together with and. Now when the poet does this poetic device is anaphora. We will see the starting of the poem, the three lines in the stanza are with the same words. Alright. Then next is personification. Now there is a line I told you, wanted where. Wanted where means when he talks about the second road and he says that it looked grassy and wanted where. It wanted wear and tear. Now here the poet has used wanted where. See, a road cannot want anything. It is not a person. Wants are of, desires are of a person. So any quality of a non-living thing is just like a person's quality. Then we say it is a personification. Alright. So a road cannot want where. People want where. So here the road has been talked about like a person. So this is a personification. Same words when we talk about the next poetic device, that is alliteration. What is alliteration? When a poet uses words that start with same consonant together in a stanza, in a line or a stanza. See here, wanted where, WW. This is used by the poet purposely to put some emphasis and rhythm and all, to make the poem more systematic and rhythmic and all. So to give effects, he has used alliteration, and that is why wanted where he has used these types of words where they start with the same consonant. Again, you can read and see, maybe there are more. And here there is another, then took the other road. So here T, he is using the words with same consonants. Alright. Next poetic device is visual imagery. Visual imagery is a poetic device where there are words written which creates an imagination in our mind. Now when he says, I'm standing at the road and two roads diverged, yellow woods, when he says all that, grassy, wanted where, all these words create an image in our mind, a visual image. We are able to form an image in our mind. This type of poetic device is visual imagery. Next poetic device that he has used is symbolism. See, he has used the word roads to tell about choices in life. There are times when we have to make choices. We have got two choices and we have to choose one. So here he has used the word road. So this is a symbolism. Alright, roads is symbolic of the choices that we have to make in life. And last he has used is repetition. See, in the last paragraph he says ages and ages hence. He has used the word ages twice. He has repeated, and this is done to give effects, to emphasize, to stress on a point that after many years I will think. He could have used these words, but he used these repetitive words to properly stress on something. And then 2 roads he has used again in the last paragraph also. This is also a repetition to emphasize or stress on the word roads. Roads, that is symbolic of choices, and that is also a metaphor. Alright. Now before forgetting, we have to see the title, The Road Not Taken. You know, whenever we have 2 choices, we always think about what could have happened and what has happened now. No, there are many times we say that, oh God, if I had not done this then. So we are always thinking about the thing that we have not taken. So that is why he says the road not taken. He thinks he has made the title of this, it is appropriate title, because he is always with the thought that if he had not taken the second road, what would have happened? He would have been, just living a teacher life and a farming life. What would have happened? So that is always there in his mind. Now this poem, again I'm telling you, has got an ending which can be taken as negatively also, positively also, because the poet, I have told you about Robert Frost and his life, but in the poem there is nowhere, the poet says that I was unhappy or I was very happy about something. He says, although when you read about his autobiography, he says, I became very happy after winning, after becoming famous and all, but my happiness was a surface cheerfulness. I was happy only from the top. There was a regret in my mind that why I had not become famous before. Alright, but if you want, you can say that he regretted that he had to struggle so much, he had to take the second road and he wanted to come to the first road, or you can take it positively also. So both, but you should give a proper explanation to whatever ending you take. Both are correct, but relevant explanation should be given. Go through the poem. I have explained every line of it. All poetic devices are here. Read again and again, and if you are facing any problem, please put it in my comment section, or you can even write to me at the email ID address that I have given. You can always put your queries there. I will definitely solve them. Alright? Do take good care of yourself, and you also ponder and take right choices. Always. Do subscribe my channel if you have not done so. Goodbye.